are working in our Envision math curriculum. Today we're on topic 1-4, which is understand decimal place value. Okay, so in order to understand decimal place value, we have to really make sure that we are comfortable with knowing the places, reading the places, and all the other good stuff. So we're going to start off today, but we're going to put a number in our place value chart. That number that we're going to choose, or I'm going to choose, is this number right here. How do we read that number? You're going to read, let's put it in the chart first. So I see I have a decimal point there. I like to put my decimal point in first and work around it so that way I know everything is lined up correctly. So I have a 9, which is to the left of the decimal point. Oh, and it falls in the ones place. Then I have a 2 that is to the right of the decimal point, and that falls in the tenths place. I'm trying to stress on the part so you know it's in the decimal area. And I have a 4, which is next to that 2 in the hundredths place. Okay, so right there, I see that I have 9, and I like to say and when I see my decimal point right there. Kind of helps it flow well, and that's the way you're supposed to say it. So 9 and 24. So I'm going to say this number as one number. Okay, 9 and 24. Now the next step is to look at what place that last number fell in. The last number falls in the hundredths place. So this number is 9 and 24 hundredths. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to get this 9 and 24 hundredths. We're going to break it down into expanded form. And what expanded form is separating each number with a place value, multiplying it so that you can see how it's broken down. Okay, so before we do that, let's have a quick reminder of our exponents. Now, right here, we're only dealing with one place, but we're going to write some more up here. Let me change our color. You see, I like to use the colors. So we have 10 to the 0 power, because that means that you're in a ones place. There's no zeros that fall after that. Okay, 10 to the first power, because the tens place has 1 0 after it. 10 to the second power, which is our hundredths place, because there's 2 hundredths. Now, the tricky part might not be tricky. It's a little cool to me, I think. So to the right of our decimal points, remember, decimal places are not whole numbers. They're parts of whole numbers. They are fractions. Think of those things as fractions. So the tenths place, that is written, as we talked about in a previous lesson, as 1/10 or 1/10. The hundredths place is 1/100, which is 100 driths. And the last place that we're going to talk about today is 1/1000, which is 1/1000ths. Okay, so that's just going to help us to remember when it's time to separate this 9 and 24 hundredths into our place value. So let's start. First, we have our 9. Okay, I'm going to put it in parentheses. And, you know, we're multiplying. So that is in the ones place. So what is our exponent? Right above. Yep. 10 to the 0 power, because that's just let me know that that number is just like 9 times 1. Now we're going to add it. Now, I don't need to put my decimal point in here, but the thing is, just like I did that exponent, so I know that that was a whole number, so that I know that it's a decimal, I'm going to put in that fraction, multiplying with that number. So I'm going to start my parentheses again. So I have a 2 that's in that place, which is in the tenths place, and I'm going to multiply that by 1/10. That's letting me know that that number goes in the tenths place. Plus, I have a 4. 4 times 1/100th. So that's letting me know that 4 goes in the 100th place. So if I were to break this down, it would be 9 plus, I know that 2 is in the tens place, so I could put decimal point 2 plus this 4 is in the hundredths place. So I have my decimal point 0.04, because remember that 4 needs to be in the hundredths place by itself. Okay, no number in front of it. That would change the whole number itself. So now if I put that together, I have 9, a decimal point, There's a 2 in the tens place, and there's nothing else in the tens place here, and there's a 4 in the hundreds place. That gives me my expanded form of 9 and 24 hundredths. I want you to say that to yourself, 9 and 24 hundredths, okay? Hey, when we're done with this lesson, go back and put some numbers in your place value chart and just kind of quiz yourself on saying the number, because that's the trick right there. If you say it correctly, you'll be able to write it correctly. You'll be able to add it. You'll be able to multiply it, divide it, all these things coming together. This is your base right here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do another number. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to try to keep my little helpers still on here. I'm going to erase this. All right. Now, next number. Let's see what our number will be. How about 92.242? Before I try to read it, let's put it in the place value. So I have my decimal point that I kept there. So I see that I have a 2 in the ones place, a 9 in the tens place. That's to the left with our whole numbers. Now let's get to our partial numbers. So we have tenths. We have a 2 in the tenths place, a 4 in the hundreds place, and a 2 in the thousands place. So now let's break that down. So that'll be 92 and, now remember, I'm going to say this number together, 242. That 2 falls in the thousands place. So that would be 242,000. So altogether, my number is 92 and 242,000. Now, if I look up top, I still have my helpers up here with my exponents that are to the left of the decimal point and my fractions that are to the right, which is going to help me to work out my expanded form. So let's see. Let's use some green again. So I have my 9. We're going to start there. Remember, we need parentheses. 9 times 10 to the what? There's one place next to that 10, so there needs to be there. 1 in the exponent. Very good. Plus 2. I need my parenthesis there. Times 10 to the what? Remember, there's no place over, and what exponent is equal to 1? 10 to the 0, right? We don't have any extra zeros I need to add on there. And we're going to add. Now, this is where the change happens. We're going into our decimal. Okay? So now we need to think about multiplying times those fractions. So I have a 2 times, the 2 is in the tenths place, so 1/10. Okay? Plus, parenthesis, 4. The 4 is in the hundreds place, so I'm going to multiply that times 100th. Okay? Last place, plus 2 times, the 2 is in the thousand place, so 1,000th. Now we're going to break that down even more so we can get back to, also we're kind of checking our work to make sure we separated our expanded form in the correct way. So I have 9 times 10 to the first power is equal to what? 90. Plus 2 times 10 to the 0 power, which is equal to 2. Right there, we can even stop. 90 plus 2 is equal to 92. All right, now we're getting into our fraction part, our decimal side of our place value. And of course, we're going to add that 92 there. I got a little excited there. So 2 times 1/10 is letting me know, and you can put the 0 in the ones place if that's easier for you, that 2 is in the tenths place. Then I'm going to keep adding. That 4 is in the hundreds place. So 0 point, remember there's nothing in the tens place here, but the 4 is in the hundreds place. And then I'm going to add again. Now I have my last one to add up in my parentheses. So I have a 2 in the thousands place. So 0 point, now there's nothing in the tens place. There's nothing in the hundreds place, but there is a 2 in the thousands place. So when I add this all together, I have 92 and there's a 2 in the tenths place. That was a big 2. A 4 in the hundredths place. Ooh, I got tongue twisted. 4 in the hundredths place. And a 2 in the thousandths place. Very good. So this is, we have our expanded form, and we actually took it right back so we can check our work. You always want to check your work. That way we can see if we broke it down in the correct fashion. All right, that's that. So today we went over understanding decimal place value. So continue to work and you'll be great.